So what we do is we first of all check if options are available, so if the user has specified options, and then we extend, which is essentially just merging two objects or arrays in this case together, and we want to merge or extend settings to options. So now what we've done is we've just basically taken values and then combined them with the pre-default settings that we've created here. That's really all there is to it. So whenever I'm creating a jQuery plugin and I'm using this notation, I always go ahead and alert out one of my settings so I know that it's actually working. So we're going to go ahead and alert out settings, and because of course this is an array, we're going to alert out color. So inside ext.js, let's just go ahead and apply this plugin to the document. So it's .highlight, and then inside let's not specify anything at all, and let's refresh. You can see that we've got null returned here. That's obviously because, like I said, this is the default value. I haven't supplied any sort of options or settings inside of here, therefore null is the predefined or default value. If it was yellow and I refreshed, we get the value yellow up. So now what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and change that back to null, and I'm going to actually supply some options to this plugin. So let's go ahead and type in color, which is the name of my option. Remember over here, the name of my option here, and color is going to be yellow. So now that I've actually supplied it, we have this if option, so this equals true. We extend it in, and then this takes over this value. So now when I refresh, you see we get yellow. If I was to go ahead and inside of here specify this as red, or red rather, not read, and refresh, you can see we've got red. So we've now successfully passed this parameter or this setting to our plugin. So now what we can go ahead and do is use this.css, and we can set the background color to settings color, because we've already echoed this setting out, so we know that it works. So we can go ahead and use CSS to set the background color in this case. So let's go ahead and refresh, or let's go ahead and specify color and change that there. In actual fact, no, we don't need that. Sorry, I forgot to actually go ahead and apply it to something relevant. We use this without the $sign and whatever else because we've used this notation here. We're not required to inside of our plugin. We're setting the background color to the setting specified as we've already talked about here. So in this case it's red. Let's go ahead and actually apply this to something relevant, and in this case it's the strong tags, or in this case every strong tag on the page. So now when we refresh, you see that the background is highlighted with red. We can go ahead and then specify something like yellow, for example, and refresh, and you can see that it does exactly the same thing. Now let's go ahead and look at what we want to do if we want to add a second option into here. So essentially what we'd do is we might say foreground black, or foreground white, for example. So what this would do is we're supplying the first, which is the highlight color, and then the foreground color we can do as well. So let's go ahead and modify our plugin. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down here, and I'm going to comma onto the end of here, and I'm going to say foreground null. So by default it's nothing. Let's just pull that down a little bit more. If options, this line we don't need to change because we're still extending the options given to our predefined setting array. So we're extending them settings to our options. We're then saying this.css background color is settings color, but now we can again say this.css or this.css color, which is obviously the foreground color in CSS, and we can supply foreground from our settings. So we've quite easily added in another option here, which is foreground, and this won't take effect just at the moment, but if we go ahead and specify foreground, let's say red in here, you'll see that that's transferred through to our plugin using the foreground option there. We merge, and then we use this settings array to change the color using CSS in jQuery. So in this tutorial we've learned how we can obviously create our function, which you should have already known, I guess, if you're watching this from the other videos. We predefine our settings. In my case I always choose them as null. However, if you wanted the default background color to be yellow and the default foreground to be black or #000, you would do that. And then we merge the settings with the options that are given, so we can then use them, use the user settings, and we use this array to access each one. So we've created more or less a pointless plugin, but it has demonstrated how we pass options to our plugin and actually make use of